completely.
Hello, and it's okay, Alex. Welcome to TKB Live. We've had an interesting week looking at spirals, and some more spirals.
And some Geist, come on.
Yeah. Geist underperformed and then overperformed, so they've had their ups and downs. But yeah, we all know who's been showing it's coming out ahead at the moment.
Yep.
But before we get onto that, I'm thinking of a card.
Monster.
Monster card.
It is a monster card.
Main deck monster card.
It's not a main deck monster card.
Okay. Is it white and or black?
It is white and or black.
Is it black?
Okay. Yikes. You do you. We have numbers and everything.
Okay, we'll go with black.
It is a black card.
Okay, it's black.
Does it have 4 or less pips?
It does have 4 pips or fewer.
Does it have exactly 4 pips?
It has exactly 4 pips. Welcome everyone to the chat.
Okay, so...
Anyone that hasn't seen one of these already, this is our 20 questions that we're kicking it off with. I think we're 5 questions in. We know that we are guessing a rank 4 monster card and nothing further.
Correct. Does
Like-
it have 2,200 or more attack points?
It does have 2,200 or more attack points.
Does it have 25 or more attack points? 2,500 or more attack
It
points?
does not have 2,500 or more attack points.
Sneaky.
I'm trying to think what's in that bracket.
Is its summoning requirements more complicated than 2+ monsters?
Its summoning requirements is not more complicated than 2+ monsters.
I was thinking Shockmaster.
I mean, 2 plus would include Shotmaster.
Is it more complicated than?
2+ monsters.
Which would include Shotmaster, so.
Make your question specific.
Okay.
Does it include... Is the summoning requirement 2 level 4 monsters?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, that's exactly what I was going for.
Yes.
So I'm feeling it's the new Ignister boy, but we can narrow it down from here. Does
Oh, I might need to check something.
new Ignister boy has 2,300 attack points? And I believe it's just 2+ monsters. 2.
I believe he is generic, yes.
Yeah. Does it have?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to run it back a little bit here.
Okay, good. It's a 6
Summoning requirements are more specific than 2 level 4 monsters. My bad.
Okay. Good.
That one mine?
It's too late. Does it have more effects than an ignition effect?
As in, does it have any effects that aren't ignition effects?
Does it have more than a singular ignition effect?
It has more. It has an effect that is not a singular ignition effect.
Okay. Does it?
I don't even know what we're asking anymore.
Does it detach materials for anything other than costs to activate effects?
No.
I don't know what the Ignister thing does.
Ignister is just my stroke.
It does
like,
not detach materials for anything other than to activate effects.
Does it have any effects which target cards on your opponent's side of the field?
It does not have any effects that target cards on your opponent's side of the field.
It's not the Ignister.
Okay, sure.
Many questions.
Okay,
roll that.
sure.
Don't worry.
That's all I need to know.
Ignister Boy doesn't target, he destroys on resolution based on the number of Ignister monsters you control, but it has a Maestro style effect for any monster.
Sure. So it can detach as effect.
Yeah. Has it been released since Link Monsters? Was it first released in Link Monster era?
No.
So we know it's what a rank 4 between 22 and 24 attack.
Yes. 22 and 2450.
2450 is okay. So with non-generic requirements.
Yeah, it has at least some stipulation to its requirements, whether it's 3 or whether it's types or something like that.
Yeah. It could be 2+ now because
we know that the only way you can get materials off of it is by detaching them to activate its effect.
And it doesn't target opponent
And
cards.
it does not target any cards your opponent controls. Does it have an effect which can be ashed?
Yes.
Does that effect, which can be ashed, special summon?
No.
What does the math? Wait, no. When was it released? In Links or before Links?
It's before Links.
Before Links. Okay, so it's not.
It's a searcher, probably. Unless it could be like, how much attack does Dagaris have?
Dagaris has 12.
Oh, he's fine.
And also has been released in Link era.
I would have to look that one up. I don't know.
Dagaris is like mid last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dagaris is very new.
I've never heard of one. Like, I'm thinking like King of the Feral Imps.
Yeah, but he's generic.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah.
It's an effect that can be ashed. Because originally I was thinking like Tiger King, but well then Tom wouldn't have hesitated
Tiger
so
King.
much.
Tiger King.
And he can't be ashed. Yeah. Well, that was the. But then Tom also hesitated.
Does the effect which can be ashed exclusively move cards from deck to your hand?
No.
Yikes.
I'm at a loss. I don't know how many questions in we are.
Gear Geigen is a reasonable shout.
Oh, Gigagen's actually really... Yeah, Gigagen's a really good shout.
But it has 2 effects, one of which special summons and one of which adds exclusively from deck to hand.
No, adds from grave to hand.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, it's deck or grave.
Huh.
And it special summons from grave is special summons from grave as well? Or is it special summon from deck? Because if it special summons from deck, then...
Pass.
Okay, we'll look up Gear Geigen X.
I was never a Gear Geigen spieler. I was a Mermail spieler.
Apart from that time where you briefly were?
I played it for Euros for like 3 rounds, and that was about that.
This is with all of the main deck floodgates.
Main deck, yeah, macro and...
Yeah, okay, so it special summons from the graveyard, so...
Cute.
That is an option. And he's not generic, so he works with everything we've got so far.
Yep.
Do we want to narrow it down further? We haven't guessed attribute yet.
Was it first printed as ultra rare or higher?
Yes.
Okay.
Was it first printed as secret?
No.
Was
Geigen was secret.
Okay, I wasn't actually playing at the time, so...
Geigen was mega expensive on release.
I can believe that.
Jiminy Crickets. Ultra rare.
An ultra rare Xyz, non-generic that searches. What's Queen Dragon? Does that do? No, she's. Okay.
It's so much dragon rollers.
Okay, sure.
And we also know it doesn't special summon anything.
Oh, it doesn't special summon anything.
Yeah, although it does the effect which can be ashed special summon.
Oh, okay, sure.
Or like it might.
Well, it can't special summon from deck. It could special summon from grave. Like, I don't...
Time Star Magician? Yeah, the...
Time Star Magician's a good shout, actually, because he's 2...
2/4, and he was printed. You would need to check when he was printed.
No, he was printed in the Pendulum set that was released just before Euros.
Just before Double Helix.
Yeah, no. Yeah. The Euros of Zoo Euros. So, MR...
Ophion is too
3
large.
better.
I have no idea what type Illumini has. That's a card I haven't heard of.
How many questions do we have left?
Is too big.
I think we've got like 5 questions left at this point.
Okay,
Was it released released in a non. Was it first released in a non-core set?
Correct. It was first released in a non-core set.
Time start looking a bit better.
Are the additional requirements on its summoning condition based on creature type?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it time start magician?
It's time
It's
start.
okay, time start. Cool.
That is-
Question, Waigyo, you've had this for ages. It's been in the chat for a long time. Well done. You got it real early on, and I'm very impressed. As ever, chat outperforming the guys here on the sofa.
Hey, we beat them once, okay?
1 week only. Nice.
Yeah,
that's a
impressive.
card I definitely forgot existed.
That was a pretty good one.
So yeah, we'll get on into things now. Spiral's pretty big.
Spiral
Like-
pretty good.
Like mucho. Like
We all kind of thought Spiral was on the up, but then we also thought Heroes were on the up, and where have they been?
Heroes did not exist apparently. So.
Yeah.
And they're no cheaper than Spirals, so like.
So I think there's a little bit of something to be seen there from. Have you looked at the prices of any hero cards? Just completely
Literally
ignore the ones that are currently playable.
every single one.
Oh no, they are all horrifically expensive. I was
Yeah.
looking at adjusted gold the other day. It was like 60 odd for like the one of. But that's just the
He's
one
still
card
playable.
and then everything else.
So I was referring more to the zero ofs
Oh.
that just happen to be called hero, and yeah, still expensive.
I mean, the old ultis are like in that
yeah.
mad parabolic kind of stage where they're just never going down in price.
Yeah, heroes are on some silly money, and I think that in a roundabout way has a knock-on effect on the price of the cards for the competitive scene, because people that want to play their hero deck for locals going to buy those cards.
For sure.
The people that want to play the Spiral deck for locals are the same people that want to play the Spiral deck for regionals and bigger events.
But at the same time, there's still nothing on Extravagance and Appaloosa.
And like Souls is a good 60.
Yeah,
Like
I'd like to especially so we're referencing the PPG event that was this weekend. My understanding is a PPG Invitational, so all the players playing in it had qualified for that throughout a previous amount of time.
Yeah.
I don't know how long that was. I don't know how many players entered in the event.
it's a fun 550 or something like that. I thought was the number I heard.
I don't know exactly, but for player quality, you're looking at the equivalent of a Continental World Championship qualifier.
Yeah, these are all players that have specifically qualified for a non-Konami event, so they're there to play, and realistically, or like price shouldn't be a factor. It obviously always is, but yeah, it is significantly less of a factor for that event specifically than it would be at regional level.
You'll have a significantly higher proportion of people who can drop the 600 to get themselves a set of Souls, a set of Extravagance, and a set of Appaloosa.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
And if you're in America, Souls are even more than that. Even if you
Yeah.
account for the conversion, Souls in America.
Oh boy. I mean, I was looking at the price of Appaloosa the other day. Boy, has it gone up.
Yeah.
I did not realize she was so expensive. Because I got mine for like 40 way back when it released.
Well, 40 is about as cheap as that card has ever
Yeah,
been.
like I got it on like very, very soon after release for 40 quid. And, I just thought I needed my one, but apparently 3 is good now. And they're like 80 quid, which is a lot of money.
So that's kind of the main point of discussion at the moment around the Spiral area. Is there are 3 very distinct decks
Yes.
rolling around from the PPG. There's the pure version, which is just straight up good Spiral cards, all the normal support cards, including Foolish Burial Goods and Where Art Thou's and possibly Dangers. There's the scrap version, which is running the scrap recycler engine.
And very much not playing Extravagance.
Very much not playing Extravagance, yeah.
And then there's the Extravagance version, which is on the Big Mun's triple Appaloosa plan. So, do we have any opinions on which of those we like at the moment?
I'm not sure why the Extravagance build exists.
Yeah.
We all had a little bit of a glance at the PPG deck lists, and there was a hand trap featuring that's been sort of on the back burner for the last half a year or so, and suddenly is in everyone's main decks.
Yep.
It's searchable.
Yeah.
If you can still search.
So this is, of course, our old favourite, Droll and Lockbird. Alec loves Droll and
my
Lockbird.
favorite. Absolute quality magic.
Super
design.
healthy.
So, with Droll and Lockbird in almost every deck in the top cut, in duplicate or mostly in triplicate, why would you want to start your main phase by drawing 2, not taking a search for a combo piece?
I do not know. Like,
Yeah.
the argument is that Spyral does have some inherent inconsistencies. It is still a
Yeah.
2-piece combo deck, and it needs to draw A plus B. It has a lot of A's and a lot of B's at the moment, and a lot of overlap between the 2 slots. But you do need to get started, and there are definitely a handful of top cut matches from the PPG event where players just did not have live plays. So the argument is, Pot of Greed is a good card at unbricking hands.
Yeah.
Which can fully sympathize. The issue is, so aside from the draw factor, which I definitely think is a very real thing, the issue is side decks are really powerful right now.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of really, really impactful cards that people are playing that Spyral just cannot beat without Trigate. So,
Yes.
Dark Ruler no more, Trigate doesn't help you there. But Evenly Matched is a card that started seeing a lot of main deck play as well as side deck play, and that card absolutely hoses Spyral if they don't have the negate for it.
Yeah.
I think Lightning Storm's going to be a big player there as well. If
Yeah,
people are playing it to get around Altergeist, it's going to put in significant work, even if it's just taking out back row.
Yeah, like Spyral has always had the issue with when their resort and last resort to die, they suddenly have significantly, like, all you need to do is find something else to destroy that sleeper.
So just for context here, Paul Corber asks, what does the Spyral Extravagance board end on? Is it just the Sleeper and the Appaloosa? Generally not. They have those 2 and a double agent to make the Spiral Gear Utility Wire, the searchable trap card, live as a 1 further piece of interaction.
However, that still all loses really hard to evenly.
Yes.
Yeah, utility wire is a very important piece for beating specifically Dark Ruler no more. It's just, it's their answer to that.
And it also means that there is another way of playing around a card, like, I've completely forgotten what I was just going to say. Mystic Mine.
Mystic
Gotcha.
Mine, yeah.
Thank you.
Any of the just must negate cards, it is a free removal for a
Yeah.
face-up card, which is pretty good.
It has some insulation against things like mind control as well, because mind control the Appaloosa against your normal Spyral board with no Trigate is really good. But if you can just get rid of the Appaloosa, then you still have Sleeper, and they've used one of the cards out of their hand.
So, like, going back to the argument of which build I would play, I feel like the loss of Trigate really opens you up to a lot of different cards. You just mentioned Mind Control, as well as evenly matched, both cards that we think will just be very popular because they're just very good.
Yep.
And not having a singular negate for those cards, only having destruction and removal, base negate and monster negates, means, you're kind of really just praying your opponent doesn't have the goods game 2 and 3. And it's not really a place I want to be in my big old go first combo deck. Like,
I mean, some people are maining these cards. There are a reasonable number of go second decks in the format, and they're pretty solid cards just to be maining.
Like, the only slight caveat with the PPG event is because it was a qualification only event, and because typically non-Konami sanctioned events tend to be quite sort of insular in their thinking, a lot of the metagaming will have been sort of amongst team members for their own deck. So everyone knew that Spyral was going to be played by the vast majority of the best players because they were all talking to each other. So everyone was playing decks specifically to beat Spyral. So it just kind of builds in on itself.
Yeah.
So, like,
You end up in a
there's a weird
position
metagaming thing
where,
there.
despite being right at the start of a format, it looks more like the deck lists that you see much later on.
Yeah, it looked like it was a solved format.
Okay. On a note on the Droll and Lockbird, I was just having a thought, and I wondered if you guys could help me here. If you are playing against Spyral, and they summon a Link monster, would it be a legal play to activate Phantasme in your hand, summon it, draw your cards, put one back, and then draw on your own draw to prevent them from searching before anything else happens?
Droll specifically says opponent?
Yeah, I thought draw was opponents. Let's check the old Karuri.
I believe Droll is specifically.
Yeah, if your opponent adds a card from their deck to their hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
I do think Phantasma is actually super good while we're on it. If nothing else, because he rearranges your deck.
See, no. See, I honestly think Phantasme is really bad right now. By the time you drop Phantasme, it's too late to do relevant trolling.
Sure.
You typically
that's
get,
true.
I'm gonna say big hair chick. I don't know her actual name.
Master Plan.
Get Master Plan on board and off board before they make their first Link monster. So trying to Phantasme to get your draw doesn't really matter that much.
Yeah.
And then also related to that, I don't think Nibiru is very good right now.
No, I don't think Nibiru is very good right now
And
either.
Phantasme and Nibiru are they're real buddy. They kind of two peas in a pod there.
I do think
Making me feel real bad about my deck building for this evening.
I do think Nibiru, I think Phantasme does get some value in that there are like things like Dark Ruler No More are good cards that you want to draw, and Phantasme gets you to them.
Yeah, sure.
And Phantasme also has the benefit in Spyral of if you've gone second, it actually unbricks your hand, because as we said, there's an inherent consistency issue in decks like Spyral, and also Hero.
A lot of engine requirements that you definitely don't want to draw.
Yeah, so like, that is actually a good thing about Phantasme.
Yeah, for sure.
In and of itself.
I don't think I've seen hero builds playing Phantasme, which on one hand it feels like it makes sense because all of the heroes say you can't special summon anything except from heroes, but you're not summoning Phantasme on your own turn anyway, so...
Most of the time.
Sure, most of the time. So I'm not entirely sure whether it's just the lists that I've seen haven't been playing it, or whether there's another reason why those decks aren't playing Phantasme, or whether they just don't feel like they need it at all.
I don't know enough about heroes to
Couldn't
comment.
tell you the answer to that. Like, I know the hero requirements for the deck are very, very large. Like, heroes is very close to 40 cards that have hero in the textbook somewhere. So space for non-engine cards is very limited, but Phantasme says draw 2, put 1 back. So you'd have thought it would be good, but I also don't know what you can do with Phantasme once it's on the board. I don't know if you can use with it for many of the relevant things, or link with it for many of the
I
relevant
think you
things.
can use it for Malicious Bane.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. And I don't think you can link it into anything relevant though, because I'm pretty sure all their links want heroes.
It's not the worst guy to just have on your board though. He's got a relevant effect and he's 2400. He does some damage.
So Lord Pavlenko, it's interesting. Most of the hero decks that we've been seeing are dedicated go second. That's been historically how we've seen heroes. I know a few of the decks are starting to go first now at the beginning of this format, but last format, most of them were go second, kill you.
Yeah, that was the experience that I had of hero decks, is that they were all wanting to choose second, but as you say, we've seen a little bit of a shift there. People coming much more online to Dark Claw setups.
Dark Claw, good card.
Dark Claw Plasma is pretty hard to deal with for most decks.
Lightning Storm's going to make a bit of a difference there.
You can put them both in defense. Come now.
Well, no, the one saving grace for all of us players not playing Spirals is that hero players, if they're going first, now need to shotgun the Dark Claw summon. They need to shotgun the March change in the standby phase to play around you. Magician Soulsing to send the big air check.
And further to that, they have to summon their Dark Claw in attack position because it has less defense than a Super Agent.
Yep.
Yeah. And so all of this is really advantageous for all of us non-Spiral players.
Yes.
So, really small things, but...
Looking at a format that we now know to be full of those Spiral decks, how's that affecting your deck building for your next event?
Well, the side deck is going to be full of high-impact cards, so if you're not maining Droll and Lockbird, then 3 of them are going to be in your side deck.
Okay.
I feel like Evenly Matched is proven that it is in a really good place right now.
Yep.
More things like, depending on what deck you're playing yourself, Sphere Mode, Dark Ruler No More, or even Kaijus all seem really good right now.
Yeah.
And so one of the weird things that we were discussing earlier in the chats, at the end of, or during last format when Orcust was just by far the best deck, if you were playing a go second deck, you needed to be able to kill your opponent in the first turn. If you didn't kill Orcust, then they just had so many extra resources and had so much stuff they could do on their second turn that you just were never winning that game. They just ran away.
Yeah.
It just snowballed too hard.
Spyral.
But Spyral, if you break their first board, they're dead. Like, they they just have no win
Okay.
conditions left. Like, you don't
Yeah.
actually need to borrow sword kill in one turn. As long as you get rid of their stuff, then you can just win the grind game from there.
Oftentimes,
Yeah, removal just seems in a good place.
if they have managed to keep a double helix in the extra deck, Spyral does have a grind game. It depends how much of their board you break.
Like
the-
double helix to get back
Sleeper and
from
just
grave.
special summon Sleeper is totally fine.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't need last resort when your opponent has already failed to kill you.
Pop 2 cards every turn. Still, good text.
Yeah. Like I would.
It's significantly more limited.
Oh
than
yeah, so much more.
Orcus start my turn with a full board because I harped in your end phase and 2 pieces of resources.
What's
in
a
there,
harp?
And did Gears you summon still to come, and that kind of fun. So there is much more of a world where you can play all the cards that require you to use your battle phase, which you just couldn't do before. So we've seen evenly matched. Dark Ruler no more effectively uses your battle phase. You can't deal damage, so Borrow Sword is not on the cards. And a cute one that I believe the PPG Lunalight deck played was anti-magic arrows for the for all of the back row decks. Just
That was a card that we were looking at before.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering what happens if you go to your battle phase, play anti-magic arrows, and then follow it up with a topologic link in your main phase too.
I believe he was using Exodon Knight for exactly the same.
Yeah, it does the job.
same
Yep.
thing.
Okay, that's cool.
So all of that
I
just
can
becomes
consider
a
that.
much more realistic going second plan. So building a side deck that can do that or has that as its game plan seems, very realistic now.
Okay. And Seb, you're now going to be building for a meta that's full of mirror matches.
Yes, I snap bought my souls with the Boundless, which turned out to be a really good decision, as it turns out. And I have played a meta of Spiral Mirrors before. It was not a fun meta. This one is significantly healthier because Spiral is very, very banned. And there's only one resort.
Come see. There's
so-
only one of a lot of cards.
Okay, yeah. There's only one of a lot of cards. So I actually think it's quite interesting. I think the Spiral Mirror can be alright. I think Spiral also has a lot more extenders than it used to. It used to kind of rely on going through the double helix.
Yeah, and if you're
Now,
going to
Ashing the double helix is like, Like, I don't think Ash is very good at the moment at all. It's just too low impact.
Yeah, how do we feel on singular pieces of interaction like that?
If you're playing them, you've got to play a lot.
You gotta play
Yeah.
all of them.
Like, you really do have to be playing multiples.
There's the PPG Goki deck, which was running 18 hand traps main deck.
Yeah, that deck was an interesting. 18 also the year that deck was released. No single card in his main deck is more recent than June 2018.
You'll love to see it.
Yep.
Yep, just like 12 warriors and 18 hand traps and like a few just spells.
Yeah.
That's my deck.
You could glance at it and think that it was sort of Throwback Thursday, looking at a continental qualifier top cut list from that year.
You Link.
Yeah.
Where's the Gumblar Dragon? Fire will come back.
Yeah.
Like, if you're playing some hand traps, you want to play a lot of them. Otherwise, stick to your drolls.
One of DD Crow.
Anyway, looking at how I'm going to change my deck, I have done a lot of the things that these guys have suggested are a really bad idea. I've put cards, well, I suppose it's cards that I haven't changed in my BA list are the ones that we're now thinking aren't necessarily so great for a Spiral-based format, but we'll still see how it goes. So I've brought that deck along with me today. I've made a couple of small changes. Seb, you've got your Spiral deck.
I do have spirals.
And
yes.
this is the first time that I have played against Spyral probably since they were, I'm going to say tier 0. I think that was definitely a tier 0.
Oh, that was
format.
very much a tier 0 format. They had the tier 1 format later.
Okay.
The go second spiral format.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll kick into a little game of that and see how it plays out, I guess.
Yep. Sounds good.
And then whilst we're playing out that, Alec will be able to read through chat and get some of your questions that we haven't been able to address whilst we were talking there. I think
just
somebody.
to comment on the sound quality, we do usually have a dedicated microphone. Thomas Rose is still figuring out how technology works and that cables are involved in it.
Yeah,
So,
I
unfortunately, we are not using our external microphone.
did still bring the microphone we're supposed to be using, but opened it up when I got here, and the cable was very much not in the box.
Yeah. So usually the sound quality is better, but unfortunately this week, no.
Sorry, guys.
Turns out we don't have an arbitrary USB-C to micro USB cable kicking about.
Who could have predicted? Squeaker asked our opinions on Lunalite with souls.
We've had this discussion. I put that one in our Team Kuribrohs group chat a good week and a bit ago.
Yeah.
At the time, Alec was skeptical.
I didn't like it at first, but no, thinking about it, I feel like Magician's Souls is a very, very generic, strong card which you can be splashing in basically any deck. The fact that there is a Garnet for it that actually does something is very real. Because is it Apprentice Illusion Magician?
Yeah.
Is that the name? That card is a totally real card. And yeah, Souls is just really good. Like, I don't own any Souls at the moment, but I am looking at trying to fit 3 in a Pendulum deck, because I feel like any Pendulum deck that wants to turbo is going to do it with a free Cycle 2. And like, the ability to send field spells and continuous spells that you've already activated that turn as a free Pot of Greed plus monster on board seems pretty good. So I feel like there's going to be a lot more exploring with that card, and it will be popping up in a lot more decks than just Spyral. Lunalite seems like a complete free roll because it's a curious deck, but I think that card will see a lot more generic play over its lifetime.
Yep. Seems pretty good. Yeah, I did make Tom go first. In case that wasn't obvious. I wanted to try going second Spyral, because in the past, obviously that became the go-to Spyral deck for a number of reasons, and I think it still has a lot of merit for the same reasons. Cool. Draw 4 turn. Stand by main phase. And we'll lead off with Souls.
They cost.
Yeah. Master plan.
So totally awesome. To answer your question about what combos Spyral does without Double Helix, honestly, Double Helix is not an important part of the combo in the slightest. Basically, every combo starts in this way, as Seb is showing, by getting Master Plan to the graveyard somehow, and then reviving it. And then you just kind of make Double Helix at some point along the way because it's free value, but it's in no way an important starter, as it was a couple years ago, or a year ago. So, yeah,
Okay,
like, stopping the Double Helix doesn't actually really achieve much. Like, it'll hurt. It's still a free summon. It might be like getting rid of their level 1 body, but yeah, it's by no means the deal and end all that it was.
So, just for chat's benefit.
It's a pretty easy stack there.
Yeah. Not a difficult one. So we will declare monster.
At this point, I have the ability to rearrange the top of my deck in kind of by using Gizmek, but there are so few non-monsters in my main deck that there's not a lot of point in it.
Yeah.
It's not staying on top of my deck, though.
Really? You don't say. Yeah. This is just a way of getting something to happen. We'll go ahead and Helix Call Monster.
Yeah, we all know what it is.
Yep. So basically, I can't do a whole lot, but like there are definitely things I can be doing here. I think I want to just summon the Quick Fix just to get it out of the deck. I obviously can't search with it, but like it's more bodies, which isn't a bad thing.
first turn, so there is
Ooh.
some amount of possibility he doesn't have a life.
Nibiru is kind of annoying. But I think it's nice in a way that I forced him to use 2 hand traps.
What's the stats?
0. It's got 400 defense and 24 attack. So it is a very small Nibiru token. Very, very small indeed.
Alex, I don't think we had any immediate plans to go to Reading Regional. Which weekend is that? The only one in my calendar, at least, is Brotherhood on the 8th of February.
8th of February is the Brotherhood one.
Yeah, if there is one in Reading, then there's a very realistic chance we will be going, but yeah, we just have no idea when it is.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. One of these.
Yep. Well, the next Scorpio return.
Yeah, Nick T, I'm in the same boat as you. So Nick T is asking, what are the arguments for Lightning Storm over evenly matched? And I honestly think evenly matched is probably just better at the moment.
I think Lightning Storm is still better against the trap decks because of the same reasons that Evenly has always kind of been annoying against the trap decks. In that it the trap decks have they just keep the best trap and then it still kind of screws with you in main phase 2.
Like Ultra guys specifically have always had the Q play where they can chain one of their traps that they're going to banish just to trigger the multi-faker, and then send all their stuff, summon multi-faker, and then they still have their best trap.
They still have the
plus
Mare deck.
Concrete.
How many times have I summoned yet?
You have summoned once, twice, 3 times this turn.
Fact Gizmek? Battle phase?
Yeah.
Punch, punch, punch.
Okay, on attack.
Oh no, I've missed something.
Special summon my master plan.
I see.
Yes.
Yes.
Also has Gizmek.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's also huge.
She's just got a big booty. Big hair, big booty. She big. And she searches when she dies, which is not bad.
I'm feeling it. I read. Oh, okay, especially Reading is already max capacity.
Oh, cool.
So, Getzo.
Yeah. Any way sent from field to graveyard is real hard to get around.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to scoop your 3 boss monsters into a unicorn to discard your last card.
I would be okay with this.
Cards in your hand?
3. Tree.
It's a lot of cards, dude.
We will go main 2,
Yeah,
mind control.
that's fine. Sure. That's one way of getting around it. Effect. Yes.
You tried.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to activate the effect.
Pass to you.
So this is on 3. I'll draw for turn. And so I can use this. But equally, I could just use this. Then save this for later. The question is whether I need to save it for later. And I don't think I do.
Master Diamond, if you check Tom's most recent deck profile video, he explains everything about his thoughts on Block Dragon versus Pure. The general consensus is that Block Dragon is kind of a relic of the past at this point.
Yeah.
That it no longer, like, you are trying to make VA into a big turn 1 combo deck, and and they're just better doing turn 1 combo decks. They go
So,
lower.
I also don't think there's any reason to use it, so I'm going to summon Tough.
Okay.
And I'm going to activate the effect of Tough, calling monster, targeting your Appaloosa.
I feel like I am probably best off if I at least force you to go to the battle phase to get rid of the Appaloosa, rather than dropping it for free. There is a chance that you miss. I'm going to check how many spells I've banished.
Yeah.
It's not even the worst chance that you miss, but no, I'll negate that.
You'll negate that.
I'm not
So,
gonna
yeah.
lie, I think you're deterministically just dead if you negate and let him attack over. Because you know he has quick fix engrave.
Yeah.
How does that kill me?
I would assume that you're empty board. Like, you are not dead, but you're dead.
Dead.
I don't understand at all.
Okay, sure.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and Tough attack.
Yep.
Take your 300. And then main phase 2, I actually just have the option to banish these two to add back my agent as well. And I'll declare monster. Yeah. It insulate slightly if I miss this, because I'm not using my quick fix to normal helix and declare monster.
Effect gets back.
Yeah, that's fine. Still a monster, and that's a monster we want to see because we know that the garnet for that is banished.
I banished all my spells with that Gizmek.
Yeah. And then master plan effect to add a rescue.
Yep. I think we've seen enough here.
Yeah.
I needed that double helix to not resolve, and we had 2 spell cards left in my deck, of many cards.
Like, did you have any winning line even if it missed?
Depends which card it revealed.
So even if it misses there, I still have quick fix, so I can discard a card and add the premature barrel, big red, and special summon
Okay.
my master plan that way.
And that's still before 5, so even if your hand is Nibiru, then you have infinite resources regardless of what you share. So I honestly would have taken the hope that he misses. And I don't know why you were contemplating not using your Dark Ruler no more just immediately. Like,
Yeah.
why add any randomness to your guaranteed kill him?
Just seemed like a card that I could save.
Save for what? He has 1 card in hand.
So for me there, I think that the big error was in not using my Yazi. I could have put a lot more stuff out and probably pushed game through a revival from grave, but I didn't know that I was having to play a round 1.
Sure, yep.
Makes sense.
Sam Heath, what's on Pure Orcus at the moment?
I think Orcus needs a little bit of something to go with it.
Yeah.
It feels like a deck that could be very real, but I don't think that Pure is very real.
At least currently. It seems like it's just a little bit too slow and doesn't do quite enough in the first turn for what we currently believe to be quite a high power format, with Spyral just doing a lot of things. Like, it is trying to end on single counter trap, or if you get one of the better hands, you can end on like counter trap plus field spell plus ding, that kind of territory. But you're putting up individual pieces of interaction, which probably doesn't beat the good Spyral hands, even if you have a good opening hand with Orcus. So probably not the best at the moment is our thoughts, but in theory, if anything happens to Spyral, or the format slows down, or once you just get Knight Girsu, can be a very real deck again.
Yeah, it's not dead. It's just there is a bit more power to this format
Yeah.
than it would
Just
like.
think there are better things to be doing.
So for side decking to go into game 2 here, my thoughts is that seeing what I'm playing, Seb's going to think that I will choose second here, and instead I will side in a selection of continuous trap cards to try and floodgate him out of things.
Yeah, that's perfectly reasonable. I sided quite conservatively with that in mind, but it didn't mean that I, sided distinctly for that possibility. Although I think the good thing about winning game 1 in this is that it allows me to side a bit more conservatively because I get to make that decision in game 3. And the mind game then falls to me.
I'm going to normal summon Scorpio, and I'm not quite sure which is my best discard here. I have a couple of cards that do fairly similar things. I think the safe answer is discard the card that has any randomness in its text box.
It sends, it does not discard.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sending as a
That-
thing,
okay,
not
that-
attempting to use the effect.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is the effect of Scorpio?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Um,
Cobra effect.
Yep.
Search for an instant fusion.
So,
Yes.
Seb, on your topic about choosing first or second, you're
yes.
currently trying a hard go second deck.
Hard go second deck, yes.
If you were playing the go first deck, do you think that there will be any variance in whether you're choosing first or second post side?
Yes, I do. I think that even with the go first deck, there will be, I think most matchups probably you still want to go second because all of the really high power cards that you are guaranteed to have in your deck post side are just so good.
And a lot of people are just citing in some really backbreaking stuff for you.
Yeah, that's the other
talked
thing.
Earlier that if you're going first and you set up your big board, you're praying that your opponent doesn't open 2 of Dark Ruler No More, evenly matched, Spear Mode, Droll and Lockbird. There's going to be like a good 12 unbeatable cards in your opponent's deck, or very hard to beat cards in your opponent's deck, post side. And the vast majority of them are much more impactful when your opponent is going second. So if you can just be that person, tell your opponent to go first, you might catch them off guard, they might have Spear Modes in their deck when they're going first, that kind of thing. Just seems like a good place to be if
Yeah.
especially in Spyral Mirrors. Where,
Yep.
as you say, if
Very
your board
true.
is broken, then you are just...
Last to you.
Draw for turn. There's the anti-spell. So the anti-spell is really annoying for a number of reasons. But I don't think it's the end of the world.
Oh my.
Oh no.
My hand's not doing an awful lot anyway, as it stands. So let's think about this for a minute. What's under that? Graph. Graph being under that is pretty good.
Like, Supreme King Zack, if your Orcus deck is reliably ending on Counter Trap, Field Spell, IP, Appaloosa for 3 or 4, and Ding...
Sounds like you've got the best deck in the
You
format.
have a much
by a
better
long
list
way.
of Orcus than we do.
Yep.
The
I
majority of
think-
Orcuses we were looking at were very fair.
I just have to normal summon Tough, declare trap card, and target the anti-spell.
Declare Trap card.
Or sorry, declare monster card and target the anti-spell.
This is where it's a trap.
Yeah. Declare monster, to be clear.
The XYZ on the board at the moment is Gimmick Puppet of Shadows. Is that
No,
right?
it's
Bamboozling
Bamboozling Gossip
Gossip
Shadow.
Bamboozling Gossip Shadow. Close enough.
I'm trying to decide what happens if you resolve that and it all goes through, and whether it's actually too big of a problem for me, because I can either let it resolve and maybe it's a monster card, probably is, or I can take this now and just give you a draw. I think the safe option is probably to
Yeah.
just both take a draw instead.
Yep. And it doesn't help me a lot. So I think I'm just going to end of the battle phase and attack the Cherubini.
And instead of having the Cherubini die,
Yeah, I think this is a slight misordering.
Attack the Cherubini first. Yeah, that's true. I think that's true. I think
it's one of those things where if all of your plays resolve, you just strictly win the game. So you may
Yeah.
as well do them in the
yeah,
playing as if worst case scenario.
yeah. I totally forgot the fact that I think that was sensible. Yeah, Alec makes a good point. I definitely should have attacked first, but it's too late now, so we're just gonna accept that we did it wrong. Set lots of cards and pass.
Tom now has the luxury of starting his turn with 3 link rating.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to get rid of the Cherubini, and I would have almost been guaranteed to have done that if I just attacked first, because then he would have had to either send the Window or the Gossip Shadow, and I don't think he particularly wants to send either.
I will activate the effect of my Cherubini.
Okay.
Nick T, yep, if you are playing a deck that can support Dimension Shifter, then you should probably be main decking Dimension Shifter.
Yes, Dimension Shifter, really good at the moment. Sea Archiver's a cool card.
Dark Pool Conversations.
Yes. Cards that say everything is banished, pretty good. Unfortunately, Thunder Dragon probably not the right deck anymore.
No, he was saying he was thinking about it in Muskets, which is a very real shout.
Yeah, I don't know much about muskets, but
They're a hard go second deck, so seems like a perfect fit for Dimension Shifter.
do they need their graveyard is the question.
I do not believe so.
Cool. Then sure.
They need your opponent to have a whole bunch of dorks on field which don't do anything. And Dimension Shifter, he helps with that.
Okay, so we got Unicorn here.
Look at this.
That's fine.
I was hoping that wouldn't be fine. Restricting access to actual spiral monsters is generally the way to try and get through this.
Yeah.
Is currently finding out that floodgates that only stop your opponent for 1 turn only matter if you can kill them on that 1 turn.
Yes. You can't activate that from your hand.
Oh, sure. I should have sent this. But then I'd be dead anyway. Yeah, I think that's likely to be your game. I'm going to attack and
I'll
then
take
I'm
the
going to
22, and then I will draw for turn. You're not anywhere near dead yet. You probably should have. No, you know I have the possibility to destroy it. Yeah, my hand's not doing a whole lot, so we are just going to summon the next tough.
Okay.
We're going to target the unicorn, and we're going to declare monster. Oh, it's a trap. That's kind of upsetting.
Just like it was last turn.
Was it actually a trap last turn?
It was the second
Oh,
anti-spell.
Yeah, I think I just pass.
Seb is getting thoroughly punished for playing a whole bunch of really bad cards in this deck.
Unicorn attack.
We'll take 300.
And I will set 2. Pass you.
Draw for turn. Well, we'll try again. Monster Cardle.
Yeah.
Okay, it is a monster this time. I'm definitely not searching between mistake and draw. So we'll just hit you for 19.
Tom with a whole lot of not win conditions.
Okay.
Yes. So, yep, draw for turn. Target.
Window.
No. Call by the Grave. Not really great into anti-spell, but
Go ahead.
Here we are.
was... Yeah. Now is probably the time to normal summon my Armageddon Knight and activate the effect.
Yeah.
So we know he has Mistake and Roll.
Do you play Tornado Dragon?
No. I do not.
You didn't cite it in for the BA match?
I am going to activate the effect of Tough, target the anti-spell, and declare a monster. Okay, it's a spell.
It's great, because if he reveals a monster, and he loses the anti-spell, but if he reveals not monster,
Yeah.
it's probably a card he can't use, because the anti-spell survives.
Yep, that's pretty funny. So we'll just hit you for 34, which I think puts you down to just 1700.
It's low enough.
Not.
And yeah,
It's good. It's good. Multiple cuts, just so bad.
I really like Tough.
Even in Go Second, it's just awful.
So I should have gone with the gambit of not using the effect of the Gossip Shadow. That's my only line there.
If you did not use the Gossip Shadow, and I miss, is the good bit about that.
I mean, to be fair, you'd have also been a card further away from anything. Because you wouldn't have drawn the card with Gossip Shadow.
Yeah.
So you'd
Oh, that's true.
worked off for a turn longer. 'Cause, like, you weren't doing anything for years there anyway.
I had Graph under Gossip
Right.
Shadow,
So back to game 1.
so I can
Okay.
link these two away.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, we're back to game 1 anyway.
What was the play if the anti-spell was destroyed?
Dark Ruler no more?
Is that not strictly at the start of the main phase 1?
No.
Oh.
Yes.
Shows what I knew about that card.
Unless I have just been imagining it. No restrictions. Just you can't take damage.
Okay.
Which you know what? I'm okay with that.
Welcome to the Sultan's platoon. How tough are you? I mean, that tough was very not tough, to be fair. He got attacked over by a spent unicorn. He missed more often than did not. Like,
Yeah.
weak.
I really like Tough.
You're
Just-
living in the past.
If nothing else, because he actually increases your consistency a lot.
No, he doesn't. Stop it.
Yes, he does.
You just had a handful of normal summons that didn't do anything.
Yeah, but the thing is, you sometimes just need Spyral names. Double Helix, still a good card, and Double Helix, yes, still a good card. Not essential, but you don't. Basically, the point is you don't always draw souls.
Totally fine, but just like tough just doesn't combo you off at all. Tough is like
Assume I'm
purely
going to
for
be
the
told to go
craft
first here.
We're going for game 1.
Yeah, we're going for 1 game. Let's roll some dice. Trip 6. Okay.
Well, it's like you're going to be starting.
Straight.
No.
Actual none.
You,
Pair of 1s. Come on now.
you can lead us in.
I will lead us in.
No, I'll get bodied for the 3rd game in a row and walk
So
off with my
activate
tail between my legs.
souls.
Yep.
That's a cost.
Mhm.
Where art thou?
Yep.
Where who now?
Show me that droll.
Not yet.
No draw.
Oh, good. I like that. Normal summon, quick fix.
Yep.
Effect.
Okay.
Art thou feeling it now?
Soon.
How many summons there, buddy?
I mean, yeah. And then we'll activate this.
Go and
Yep.
get the die out. Like 2 summons. 3 summons.
Master plan, search.
I'm not going to be able to interrupt that.
No.
You're
And
not,
even if I could, I wouldn't want to.
you're not interning a search for a trap.
Really?
Don't understand.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and master plan effect. Nani? Yeah, that's fine. So we add.
The snap put back. Get out of my life, Cobra.
Nah, but close enough.
I understand. Yeah, a whole lot of TKB Garnets going around. Be playing Go Second Lunalights for a little bit, maining both Mare and Double or Nothing. And you become friends. You start to know things about each other.
Okay, so we've got the droll now.
So this is exactly the prophecy that we talked about earlier
But I'm not drawing myself, I'm drawing this.
about Phantasme and does it droll too late?
And I think it does. I believe it does. So I'm going to declare Helix for monster. And I miss, which is annoying.
Cheeky mind control on the top of my deck.
Oh, okay, that's a real card.
Yeah, it's a really real card, in fact.
Johnny 2, we feel your pain. Johnny 2 is saying he is a Dark Magician player, pleading for there to be a reprint immediately of Magician Souls. And, yeah. We've all been
We
there.
understand.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that card doesn't seem like it's going to get reprinted anytime soon. The one saving grace is Konami does like reprinting specifically Dark Magician cards. So that might be the chink in the armor. But typically, cards from these side sets, like none of the heroes have gotten reprints ever.
I mean, unless you're starting to look at things like Movie Pack, which has literally had an entire pack reprint twice.
For no reason.
Yeah, so
You can obtain your alternative Blue Eyes Dragon in 3 different rarities, all from the same set.
Released in different years.
I think I need to think about. I have plays. I just need to think about what the best thing to do is, because I don't really want to be
Trolled.
mind controlled is the one. And that is kind of annoying, but I think what I can do is I can make this into a Link Rebo.
Linky boy.
And then
Trigate.
no, that wasn't my first thought.
Kuribrohs.
Ningirsu is my thought here.
Okay.
You're sued.
And then we just Ningirsu that. I think it's good going second. It was a card that just occurred to me as like, hey, this card's not that bad.
It's definitely seen a lot of good play. Yeah.
The thing is, if I get Nibiru now, I basically just lose. But I think I still have to summon my sleeper.
Johnny 2, no, you cannot play Spyral without Magician Soul.
No.
If
It is
If
the
you
best
can-
card in your deck.
if you can get exactly 1, then the deck is much more playable than if you have 0, because you can still play the
We'll
Where
go
Art
ahead and
Dwells,
activate the resort.
but
Quit this. Set a card. And during the end phase, we'll resort for this to go back into my deck. And then we will plus.
yeah, like the first Magician Soul will give you access to 4 of them, so having at least the first one is mega important. After that, obviously, you would play as many as you can physically play with that card because it is that good. But
First
0
one even gives you access to 5 through 1-for-1.
also true. Yep.
Yeah. So the draw does stop me from going further, but I still got my sleeper. Knowing that he had the mind control was also quite important because I needed to make the mind control dead. If I'd made Appaloosa into mind control, it would have been really bad because then he can steal my mind control or steal my Appaloosa, and then he can negate my sleeper, which is not great. So
unfortunate. If your super agent would have hit, then you could have at least ended on Dweller, which would have put in some serious work, I assume.
I'm not actually playing Dweller because
What are you doing?
because I'm playing second, and you're not supposed to be able to make it's hard to make Dweller in this deck
Sure,
as
okay.
is.
Yes.
And if you're hard choosing second, you're just never making it.
Yeah. Okay. That's
Um,
yeah. Fully agree with that.
But yeah. Okay, playing the Jackalope game.
Taylor,
1,
he
2,
drew
3,
the
4, 5.
Troll and Lockbird off of the Phantasme.
Well, we hit the mind control, so don't know what's in his hand anymore.
Mind Control, not a real card.
No, yeah, mind control's not a real card. But the point is, I now no longer have information about Tom's hand at all, which even knowing one card is nice.
Do we have any picks for other going first combo decks? Pendulum?
Pendulum. I think Luna still has a lot of
Yeah,
potential
I think Luna...
as both a go second and a go first deck.
Yeah, I would definitely be on go first Luna, having played it for a little bit as going second. I think access to Dweller is the most important part of what makes Luna Lights. So that's the place I would want to be at the moment. And I also think that you need to be playing a reasonably greedy build, trying to do something more than just like Appaloosa 2 rank 4s. I think you want to be on one of the plans that's like either rank up magic in your opponent's turn, or there's some S0 combos to make your opponent skip 3 turns, that kind of stuff. I'd be looking at one of those to, play really, really wombo Lunalights if you wanna play them.
Super poly.
That's a good card.
So Mud Dragon.
Tom, would you like to activate your Super Poly?
Not immediately.
So I need to think here, because I need to think if Tom has any easy access to a light monster in his extra deck that isn't Fiend, non-light. I mean, basically any light monster in his extra deck. I believe Dante is light.
Factual,
Though I
factual.
also believe Tom might not actually be playing Dante.
What? Blasphemy!
But
Dante
I
is
mean-
the original waifu.
any number of things could be light in his extra deck. You have currently 3 cards in hand? 2 cards in hand. 3. Him summoning Mud Dragon isn't like a good play in and of itself, though. So I think I'm just gonna let him continue.
The bluff. She has been called.
Mud Dragon also blots up his extra monsters in the wall, so not super upset about that. Okay, Cherubini.
Pretending that Cherokee isn't going to be the player.
Well, Cherubini's a good card. But if I pop just the Cherubini, if I try to pop the Cherubini, I can only pop the Cherubini and I can't pop the Jackalope. Which is something to consider, but I still think it's probably best just to stop Tom getting to his deck. So I am just going to Sleeper here, target himself and Cherubini. And I may as well target the Jackalope in case something changes.
Cherubini effect.
Didn't realize that that was an option. I thought you
It's
forgot
gonna get destroyed, then I can send any other card I control to the grave instead.
Oh, cool. Well, there you go.
We have been over this.
This,
Effect Cherubini.
yeah. Be interesting to see if you
Graph?
can. Yep. Mm-hmm. Be interesting to see if you can actually out Sleeper though. That is easier said than done. Sleeper Lost Resort is a lot of not targeting.
Yeah. Needing to go through 3 different pieces of targeting removal to get rid of them.
Yes.
I think there are things I can do, but they're not easy.
We're going to have to go on an adventure.
Fun.
It's slightly easier to get rid of than Equimax.
Slightly.
I'm not sure if I can go around the houses and still end up at a playable location afterwards.
So, Matt Wilkinson, it's not the same ruling as Proxy Dragon. Proxy Dragon can't protect itself to destroy the thing next to it because the thing next to it is also going to be destroyed. In this case, Cherubini is protecting the Jackalope. So the Jackalope is not currently going to die based on the effect of Sleeper. So, only because Jackalope's not going to die, can Cherubini then use its replacement effect to send the Jackalope instead.
Which is something I definitely hadn't considered. I just totally forgot that was a thing that happened. Yes. Curious to see what else you actually play in the extra decks besides. I mean, Thousand Eyes isn't particularly helpful here.
Doesn't want to summon Mud Dragon because
I
that's
think Thousand Eyes is the play.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I just don't think it's necessarily the.
I mean, like, there's an argument to just get rid of your window unless you need a special place.
Interesting. Into Starving Venom.
Effect of Seer, summon back Cherubini.
Okay.
Effect of Starving Venom to copy name and effects of Sleeper.
Can you do that? Does it target?
Oh, yeah, it probably does target, doesn't it?
Target 1 level 5 or higher monster your opponent controls. Yes, it does indeed target.
Oh no.
Soiled it.
Yeah.
I think there might have been a line if I'd made Phoenix first. But
No, because you need to hit the resort and then this. You need to get rid of 2.
yeah,
I don't think you have enough cards in hand to get through Phoenix and Unicorn and then make that.
believably no. Yeah. I'll see if there was a line. If I had just linked these two and discard 1 for Phoenix to take out the resort,
Yeah. Then you
I
still
would get
have.
to this.
I assume you're not playing Kuribrohs.
I'm not currently playing Zerobros.
Yeah, and then you need 1, so you can make the Unicorn, but then you don't have a discard for the Super Poly. If you played Ningirsu, that would be a good time to summon.
Yeah.
Most people aren't playing Ningirsu. That was just a very, very specific thing for.
Yeah, if this was a dark, it would have got me there. In fact, no, I could have summoned strictly
The board.
straight to the unicorn to get rid of the resort,
Yeah.
and then Super Poly here with these two.
You still can't
Yeah, you
target.
still can't target the Sleeper because Last Resort also prevents targeting.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
super dead.
Yeah.
Mega dead.
Many layers.
Spyral, really good.
BA, not beating Spiral.
Alas.
Well, this build's not. Maybe we'll come up with something else.
And like your main going first strategy was instant fusion window, and that also has some issues.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of cards
Yeah,
that
because-
are commonly signing are very, very beating that.
Evenly, Dark Ruler no more.
Dark Ruler no more is the one.
I mean, Dark Ruler's no one is the main one, but like. Even
So,
thinking about the
oh,
others.
Alec, do you have a deck built?
Yeah, I just about have a deck.
Are you tagging in for me or for Seb?
Whoever, like,
Uh,
Spyrals on camera because they're the
they're the in thing.
unchecked deck. Yeah, like
BA has been defeated.
Sorry, guys. VA might have to go away for another format.
No, we'll find a way.
I think
Thank you.
VA is alright, actually. It just needs a few tweaks to really be competing. It could, since kaiju seem good at the moment. Perhaps
enough. You need big spherical boys.
big spherical boys. Yeah.
Big.
Quest on
spherical.
YGO, what did you cut for number 75? At the moment, Seb is quite right, I am not playing a Dante.
Yeah.
Just doesn't do anything in my list. By the time that you can summon it, all of your BA monsters have left the deck. The only thing that you'd be hoping to hit is strictly Destrudo and not Mare, or possibly the...
Sea Archiver. But Sea Archiver is usually being made.
Nah, the Gizmek is the only one really at that
Okay,
point.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going first and you're going second, so
Yeah.
that answers that question.
That answers that question.
Alrighty.
So I assume because it's Alec, it'll be Pendulum.
This hand puts up many negates.
Okay. Good. We'll see.
Huh.
We'll see.
So I've solitaired New Age Pendulum a little bit, but the sequencing is much more complicated than it used to be when you had not needle fiber,
Electromite.
electromite.
Needle fiber soon.
My old lists used to be very sequential of if you have this, you always play this first, and then next it's this thing, and then this thing. Whereas with all the spell countery stuff, the ordering is really non-determined or deterministic based on your hand. I'll start with Citadel,
Okay.
and I will move to
I don't know how New Age Pendulum works either, so that's fun.
Spellbook Secrets.
Oh, cute. Yeah. We're gonna need a lot of dice.
Oh yeah, we got dice.
Many dice.
Search for Blue Boy.
Yes.
And normal summon Blue Boy.
Yep.
Activate the effect.
Yeah, so I assume this is Triff's list?
This is heavily based on Triffs, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still not sold on Abductor as a card. It clogs your scales, the things that you want
Still
to...
only on one?
Oh yeah, I haven't actually played it yet. The thing-
Not a spell card.
Do you think that Magician Souls would be helping this deck?
So this particular version, no. Just because there's not as many cards that you would want to send. But I think Pendulum in general, definitely. I don't know what build would be best for them. Ideally, something with a field spell, either Zephyra's, you just play your field spell, get a free search, and then get to send your field spell for free. Or you can just play like Dragon Ravine, that kind of stuff. Mythical Institution is another card you can send for free once it has done its thing.
5 points. They obviously matter.
Obviously.
Time on the round?
Still haven't drawn any cards that care about spell counters, which is slightly unfortunate.
Unfortunately, I have not got Droll. Droll is, by the way, really good against Pendulum.
Huh.
Which makes it maybe not the most amazing choice.
Right, I'm gonna Institution.
I don't know what that does.
So I can remove spell counters. So once per turn, they're
Yeah.
soft once per turn. I can remove spell counters from anywhere on the field. Search a card that can hold a monster that can hold spell counters equal to its level.
Okay, sure.
So get rid of
Yeah.
3
Search Servant.
to Search Servant. Yeah.
Let's not pretend there's anything else.
Still the best card.
Question on Yu-Gi-Oh! Asking what did I drop to make space for Droll in the main deck? I didn't have a lot of time to properly consider deck changes, so I took out Dark Armed as the single most non-combo based card that I was playing at the time. I think it was probably a mistake because you need things like Dark Armed that just bring so much power to the
Does
deck.
this gain counters through anything?
Only if my mythical beasts are destroyed by battle or card effect.
Okay.
It gains 2 counters per.
Sure. That's not a real number of counters. That's not a real way of gaining counters.
It definitely is if you open like.
Sure,
master
like
servers.
yeah, if you have a master service, yeah, sure.
Like 4 free counters is very real.
That's Search a Servant at the very least. Your Servant's a good card.
Taylor asks, is Droll main deck worthy?
Oh,
Yes.
Absolutely.
Very, very main deck worthy.
Oh,
Everything
really
sounds-
good at the moment.
The commentators at PPG were saying that diversity at their event was very good, and diversity in their like top cuts and doing well was also very good. But then when they actually like went into the deck lists and were seeing what people were actually playing, all of the decks that weren't Spyral were just Droll and Lockbird plus other 37 cards. The only decks doing
And most
well.
of the decks
Most
that
of
were
the
Spyral
We're also Droll and Lockbird at
uh,
plus 30 cards.
Facts.
Yeah, Droll really good.
So, Alec, how much would you have done this turn under a Droll and Lockbird?
My field would actually be like a couple negates.
Okay.
That's decent.
Right, I'm gonna use Citadel to activate Endymion.
Okay,
To activate Servant.
Does he actually gain a counter, or does he...
Yeah, his effect puts a counter on the 2 things that are summoned.
Sure.
Like, you can also just accumulate a billion counters on him in scale, summon him, and he keeps all the 3.
Does he not remove the counters in the process of becoming a monster?
You special summon him from scale, so I assume it stays as the same entity.
It probably will matter, but I just can't be bothered.
Feel like this is a...
I would have probably rolled it anyway, but I don't actually know, because spell counters. Many more dices. Okay, so we got the first negate.
Do this.
Okay.
Ragnar Bloodedge asks if we think the card market series meta will be the same as the PPG event. I'm not convinced it will be to quite that extent. The card market series is not an invitational event, it's just an open series event. So there will be far more people that are less competitive in attendance there. I'm expecting the meta at the card market series to be more similar to a regional rather than a YCS or Euros type meta that you see at a PPG specifically invitational event.
Yeah. I think, CMS you'll get the range, and Europe generally is very different from America. You have to remember that as well. The way that Europe likes to play the game is quite different. So it wouldn't surprise me at all to see something.
So I don't actually want a high scale here, but I banished all 3 of the level 7 chick and my 3rd master. So
Okay.
Not ideal.
You get 2 spell counters on.
So
Well, you
this
get
goes
that.
to 2, and I can put 1 wherever I want, which I assume wants to be here.
Okay.
This also has the usual prevent destruction by removing a counter. Because,
Why not?
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yu-Gi-Oh!
This is my
Electromite?
this
in
would
peace.
be my 5th summon, so I want to not do that. So I'll do that. No, actually, I'll do that and that.
Okay.
And
So the critical difference there being that you get the spell counters onto your Magister.
yeah, the order of these 2. But I want to pendulum summon before I make the Masquerena because it'd be a good card.
Yeah, and you may as well summon that.
Yeah. And then this is 2. This doesn't matter. And this card has real text, so you may as well keep them around. So now we hunt for a Masquerena.
Okay.
So what was the significance of pendulum summoning before the Masquerena there?
To not get Nibiru before I have a Jackal in field.
Right.
Okay. Can you activate the effect of Jackal? Is it remove spell counters from
Anywhere.
Anywhere on the field.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also, Citadel will let you do it anyway.
Well, this is only once per turn. You can steal.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah. It is your turn.
Really, been really good as my opening 5.
You're gonna get used to that feeling.
Yeah.
It's just
We're just gonna scoop it up. My hand didn't do anything. I don't have Dark Ruler.
Yeah.
Sad. But Droll not the helpful. Yeah, this is the issue. I have to wait for the 6th card in case it is the Dark Ruler. So now I get to go first.
Ooh.
And I do play some cards for going first. Just the gnome.
Let me just unsleeve these 3 mysterious cards over here. Tom, if you can just hand me my droll and lock birds, that'd be great. Maybe some no, keep those sleeves. They're good. They're good. And the 3 other sleeves over there, that'd be great. Just stick them right in the main deck of Rooney.
I see.
So I think going forward, if I'm trying to make Burning Abyss still a viable choice, I might need to look at ways that I can break a board and establish my own things rather than just trying to go for kill that turn. So that would allow me to play cards like Dark Ruler No More and Evenly Matched to break through silly big turn 1 boards.
Yeah. Those cards just are very good at the moment. That is the reality. So we're gonna see what we can do going first. I think the cool thing about Go Second Spiral is that you can still just open the combo.
It still does everything that.
Yeah.
I mean, those purples.
Yeah, it doesn't actually get worse. You play not actually that many fewer combo pieces.
Yeah, I assume you're not on burial goods.
I'm still on 2 burial goods.
Okay. You're definitely not going to be on the magician card that summons.
No, I'm not on the magician card that summons Master Plan.
Dark Magic Veil.
Yeah.
That's the boy.
I'm not on.
Got my set of those.
I do not.
Yikes.
I bought them for traditional format to summon back magical scientists.
Just
Yeah.
more reborns.
Yeah. I don't have. Yeah, I don't have any of the extra extenders. I don't main deck the Cold by the Graves, but yeah, for the most part, I still can just basically do everything. Huh. So this hand is not great.
Yeah,
In a word.
Well, are these?
This is just your typical Spiral hand. Unfortunately.
How many tufts are in it?
There is 1, which is the right number, because if I had any other Spiral name, this would be a live hand.
You don't have any if you're going first. Post side, there's no reason to have it in your deck.
What would I be playing instead?
It's a 1900 vanilla with Spyral in the name if you're going first.
Spiral is good. So I am just gonna pass.
Power play.
We'll see. We're not dead yet.
Yet. So, first check. Can my hand beat Droll and Lockbird?
That is a reasonable question to be asking yourself.
We already know the answer is no because he is playing Pendulum.
There is a very realistic chance that the answer is yes.
Ooh.
Oh.
Like, my hand just might have 8,000 damage. Just
Sure.
by punching in the face.
Face punching is.
Face punching is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. This does a lot of things. Okay.
Okay.
Activating a spell card without playing anything
Yeah.
beforehand?
Effect.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that accumulates spell counters. You're gonna draw me.
I am just gonna draw you, so like
Okay,
we'll
so-
stop pretending that that's
I'm
not
gonna-
gonna happen.
not
That's
I'm
not
gonna,
a
I'm gonna activate the chronograph in my hand, but
sure.
where is he?
Still good.
I understand.
Draw a good card.
Okay. So chronograph in hand,
Yep.
summon 2.
Yeah, unfortunately, Spyral still has consistency issues.
Effect.
Yes. So.
And game.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Played around Nibiru, played around Droll.
So, for anyone curious, Seb decided not to summon the Spiral Tough in his hand, and his top card in deck was Spiral Tough.
That would have been fine. I had the foolish goods in hand to send the.
Why did you
assault.
choose to play multiple Spiral Toughs going first?
Because you don't side them out. They are in your deck. Because I'm.
I don't
Disagree.
I want 0 in my deck post side going first.
My question is, what are you playing instead?
Probably all the cards you sided in. I don't know. Right. Well, we have proven that Spyral is, in fact, the best deck of the format, undefeated.
Not undefeated, but yeah.
That's fine. So that, I believe, is all we have time for this week. Do we have... We don't have any events or anything coming up this week, do we?
We'll
Might
have
have a little local stream going on.
Yep, we'll have the usual local stream on Thursday evening or sort of afternoon for American viewers, and then may possibly be bringing you another stream on Sunday if we go to Western Supermare locals. So stay tuned for those.
I will definitely
Otherwise-
be away this weekend.
Yikes.
So, unless you guys want to stick this, get away from my girlfriend's birthday, so
You
no
think-
locals for me.
You think we understand technology enough to host a stream here. Cool.
Yeah.
So, yep, there'll definitely be a stream on Thursday.
Thursday.
And then Dan and Irish cohorts will very possibly be bringing streams on Saturday, as they sometimes do, or midweek as well. And then otherwise, we'll be back next week for our usually scheduled DKB Live. Right. Y'all take it easy. We'll see you next time.